Archangel Michael says, the wind is shifting toward your home, and it is not by accident. Someone from your past has stepped into motion, carrying a secret wrapped in silence. The heavens trembled the moment their footsteps echoed back in your direction. They're closer than you think, closer than they should be. Their mind is made up, but their heart is a battlefield of guilt and longing. There's something clenched in their hand, and it holds more than just a message, it holds the weight of what they never said. A knock will come when you least expect it. Not gentle. Not kind. It will sound like thunder in the bones of your house, and you'll feel it before you hear it. A pressure, like the air being sucked out of a room just before lightning strikes. You are not being warned without cause. This person vanished with a truth you were meant to know long ago. They hid it because it would have changed everything, your choices, your love, your future. They are returning now because they can no longer bear the chains of their silence. They were watched. Not just by you, but by heaven. Every tear you shed was counted. Every whispered, "Why?" echoed through the divine realm. Their return is not redemption, it is a reckoning. Behind their eyes is a storm they cannot hold back anymore. Behind their back is the thing they've hidden for too long. It's not just a letter. It's not just a gift. It's a key to a door you didn't know was still locked inside you. Archangel Michael says, that door creaked open last night in the spirit realm. It released a memory you buried, and now the past is hunting the present. The smoke of unfinished business is curling under your threshold. This person comes with an offer, but it's tainted. It glitters with temptation, but the smell of fear clings to it like perfume overwrought. What they bring you is not just for you, it's meant to disturb the peace you fought so hard to build. They told someone about you, and that someone has taken interest. That interest is not love. It's control. The energy around your name has grown volatile. Spirit forces have had to gather around you without your knowing. There was a night you felt someone staring from the shadows, but no one was there. That was not a dream. That was a breach. A warning in the veil. Your person stepped into something dark to escape something worse. But in doing so, they dragged your spirit into a silent war you never agreed to fight. The door they approach now is both their sanctuary and your trap. What they hide in their coat, their bag, or maybe even beneath their sleeve, was not meant for good. It was prepared by someone else, someone you once trusted. Someone who now wishes to see your light dimmed. A name was spoken in a hidden room. Yours. And ever since, strange things have moved in your atmosphere. Birds tapping windows with no explanation. Keys falling where you never placed them. The sound of glass cracking behind you, only to find nothing broken. These are not coincidences. These are signals. This return is not ordinary. You were protected once when they left. Their exit was painful, but it was divine protection. Now, their return is a divine test. Their footsteps echo with old emotions, but also with new dangers. They've changed, but not in the way you hoped. Their soul is wrapped in conflict, torn between regret and manipulation. The angels surrounding you have begun to vibrate with urgency. Something about the timing feels unnatural. It is as if time has folded in on itself, bringing back not just a person, but a prophecy. There was something written about this very moment. A scroll opened in heaven with your name across it in golden flame. And beneath it, a warning soaked in crimson light: be ready when they come back. This person's heart is pounding with more than nerves. It's shame. It's confusion. It's the residue of promises they made to someone else, promises they should never have spoken over your spirit. The hidden object they carry was not bought. It was exchanged. In a deal made with someone who envies your rising light. That deal cost more than you know. They were watched walking down a hallway with flickering lights. A paper burned in their hand as they made a choice they cannot undo. And now, with scorched energy clinging to their aura, they move toward you. They believe they are doing this for closure. But what they bring could reopen every scar you fought to close. And not just emotional ones, spiritual ones too. Your spirit guide stood before your door last night. They whispered warnings into your dreams, but you woke up forgetting. The feeling of dread you carried this morning was no accident. This is the final hour before something shifts. Time is thinning. The veil is warping. They will smile when they see you. But behind their smile is a scream. A scream of desperation. A scream that may ripple through your soul if you are not prepared. The object they bring may seem harmless. A note. A gift. A memory. But it is charged with intent. It was anointed, but not by God. It was touched by hands that wanted to influence your path. There's an energy waiting to transfer, waiting for your touch. If you open it carelessly, something could pass into your space that doesn't belong. Archangel Michael says, you must not let emotion cloud your clarity. What you feel in their presence may not be your true voice. It may be the lingering smoke of their choices. This is spiritual warfare dressed in familiar faces. You must look past the eyes and into the aura. Do not let them speak for too long before you recognize the vibration in their tone. They may try to cry. They may reach for your hand. They may whisper that they've missed you. But what they miss is the access. The influence. The power your love once gave them. There's something about your home that still calls to them. The peace. The scent of forgiveness. But they do not deserve to walk back in just because they now recognize its value. You are not required to reopen every door someone once slammed behind them. Especially not when their return comes with a shadow riding behind them. There will be a moment, silent, heavy, decisive, when you will stand face to face and know. Know that this is not just a visit. It is a crossroads. You can allow them to step in. Or you can allow heaven to step through you. If you speak, speak with divine fire. If you receive them with the full armor of truth. If you reject what they offer, reject it with peace, not fear. This is not revenge. This is revelation. Your heart is being weighed in this moment. Your spirit is being measured. Your future is being refined. What comes through your door is not just a person. It is a decision. And it carries the echo of every prayer you ever prayed when you thought you were alone. Your name was not forgotten. Your light was not extinguished. Your destiny was never cancelled. You are about to witness the final uncovering of something ancient, buried, and powerful. The thing that's been hiding has now been commanded to reveal itself. The person you once cried for is the one now trembling with unspoken guilt. They thought they could return unchanged. But heaven is not allowing that anymore. They will be brought to their knees, not by you, but by the truth. When they arrive, look into their eyes. You will see the truth written there, trying to escape. You will see the object they carry, and you will know whether to take it, or send it away forever. And then, it will happen. The skies will shift over your house. The air will turn still. A hush will fall across your street. You will hear a sound, not of this world. A bell, distant and holy. It will mark the moment your spiritual timeline snaps into divine order. And the blessing will fall. Not a small one. A life-changing one. It has waited behind that unopened door. Heaven will release it not when they return, but when you choose rightly. When you prove you're ready not to be fooled by familiar faces, the blessing will be peace. The blessing will be strength. The blessing will be clarity, unstoppable favor, and a spiritual gate that opens into your next season. What was hidden will be exposed. What was delayed will be delivered. What was lost will be restored tenfold. The angels have gathered for this. Your name has been spoken in a divine council. And their decision is final. You are not who you were when they left. You are divine. You are protected. You are free. Archangel Michael says, there is a soul moving through the shadows, headed straight for your doorstep. They carry more than memories, they carry a concealed truth that could tear open your entire past. Heaven has sounded the warning. You felt it last night in your chest. That sharp pressure in your ribs wasn't random, it was a spiritual alarm. The air itself has thickened around you for a reason. Their face might look familiar. But what they've become is cloaked in something unrecognizable. Pain has twisted their intent. They once loved you. But they also betrayed you. And now they come with a story they never thought they'd have to confess. A door is about to creak open in your life, the kind that was nailed shut long ago. You thought you moved on. But the truth has unfinished business with you. They will arrive calm, maybe smiling, maybe shaking. But beneath their breath is a storm they've tried to bury. That storm has begun to leak into the present. Ashes from a burned photo fell last night while you were asleep. That was not your imagination, it was a sign. Something from the past is disintegrating as it makes its way toward exposure. There are words they rehearsed in silence. Lines they repeated in their mind 1,000 times, hoping they'd never need to speak them. But divine justice has left them no choice. They were watched. Not just by people, but by eyes not of this world. Their steps have been recorded by the divine. Heaven knows what they did. Earth remembers the consequences. And your spirit? It still holds the scar, even if you no longer feel it. The secret is not small. It's not something you could ignore. It involves your name, your fate, and a betrayal deeper than words. It was a choice they made in fear. A choice that stole something sacred from your future. And now, that choice has come full circle. They thought time would hide it. But time only made it louder in the spiritual realm. The sound of it echoes in the places between waking and dreaming. You've heard pieces in whispers, seen fragments in flashes. The chills you've had weren't cold, they were confirmations. The pressure in your temples was your intuition screaming through silence. They held a truth like a blade behind their back. And each time they looked at you, they feared you might see it glint in the light. But you were blinded by love. Their silence wasn't kindness, it was protection for themselves. It was the fear of what would happen if you knew. Now they're at your door, and the blade has begun to pierce their own peace. The object they carry might look ordinary. A note. A box. A keepsake. But it holds more than memory. It holds energy. And that energy is thick with hidden sorrow and delayed justice. They did not come alone. Something walks with them, something they can't see. A shadow tied to the lie they've carried all these years. Your house has been preparing. The flickering lights. The unease before sleep. The sudden creaks in the hallway that no one could explain. These are warnings. Signals from your protectors. The spiritual world is tightening around this moment. They were told not to come. But guilt drove them. Guilt is not redemption, it's just the beginning of unraveling. They think they're doing this for closure. But closure is not what waits on the other side of this conversation. What waits is awakening. You are being summoned into awareness. The time of illusions is over. The veil is being ripped down. They will speak in riddles. They may cry. They may ask for your forgiveness. But remember, emotion can be manipulated. Your clarity must be stronger than your compassion. You must feel what their spirit won't say out loud. They were involved in something that cost you a future. Whether by action or silence, they were part of what broke you. And now the truth comes not to mend, but to reveal. You have already survived the pain. But you haven't yet reclaimed the power. That begins the moment you face them with knowing eyes. They were present when your name was spoken in rooms of deception, they nodded when lies were spread. They stood still when they should have fought for your name. Now they want peace. But peace cannot be built on lies. It must begin in truth, even if that truth comes dripping in regret. They've watched your rise from afar. They've seen the light return to your face. But part of them hoped you'd never find out. Because the truth could shatter their image. The truth could shift the balance between you forever. And it will. The divine realm has waited for this confrontation. It is not about revenge, it is about correction. About aligning the scales in your favor again. Their presence at your door is not your undoing. It is your unveiling. A spiritual unveiling that clears your timeline of false attachments. You are not being asked to accept them. You are being called to recognize them. and to understand the full weight of what they bring. The silence of the past will end with this knock. Their hands will tremble as they hand over what they were told to destroy. But something in them couldn't let it burn. Because your name still burns in their conscience. Because they know what they did was unforgivable. And yet, they come. This is a sacred collision. Heaven has orchestrated the timing down to the second. You are being trusted with a moment of divine decision. Let your soul remain still. Do not rush to speak. Feel the energy. Hear what your bones tell you before your ears listen. You will know whether to close the door, or to listen until the final truth falls from their mouth. You will feel it in your skin. That's when the atmosphere will shift. You'll feel it like a wind passing through a sealed room. A presence will stand behind you, one you cannot see, but who has always been there. That is your confirmation. Do not fear what they reveal. You were made for this confrontation. You were born to survive the truth and still rise. Their hidden truth might have altered your path. But it did not destroy your purpose. In fact, it awakened your destiny. You were always meant to come to this door stronger than before. Wiser. Wounded, yes, but spiritually indestructible. They feared what would happen if you ever knew. They feared you would rise. And now you have. Archangel Michael says, the heavens have cleared your path, and now they send this truth to your doorstep. Not to hurt you, but to complete the cycle. This was always meant to surface. This person's guilt is the evidence of the divine's perfect timing. Their arrival is not a gift, it's a reckoning. The object they carry, the words they speak, the eyes they avoid, watch it all. The signs are everywhere. The truth will be loud in your spirit before it reaches your ears. There will be a silence after they leave. A silence that feels holy. That is when your blessing will descend. It will not come with fireworks. It will come like still rain on a dry soul. A quiet unlocking of the next chapter of your divine life. You will feel lighter. As if something ancient has finally been lifted from your shoulders. Because it has. This moment was written before you were born. This person's return was already sealed in your soul contract. But so was your victory. And now, the light will pour in. Not just around you, but through you. It will touch everything connected to you. You will rise above this truth. You will not be shaken. You will be transformed. What they had tried to own your future. But heaven has given it back to you. This is your release. This is your redemption. This is your resurrection. Archangel Michael says, the air is shifting and the earth beneath your feet knows why. A presence you once trusted is moving closer, carrying something they were never meant to touch. Their hands tremble with a truth that could change everything. This is not a warning of fear, it is a call for awareness. Their footsteps echo with tension across the bridge of your past. You may not hear them yet, but your spirit does. They are not coming out of love. They are coming because they've been exposed in the spirit. What they hold now burns hotter than their guilt. The object in their possession is soaked with old energy. An item linked to your pain, your silence, and the betrayal you buried. It was hidden in a place they swore you'd never find. They didn't expect to be forced into this moment. But divine justice has moved the unseen forces around them. There is no turning back for them now. They arrive with a mask, but their eyes will betray them. The truth cannot stay silent any longer. The time of shadows has ended. You felt this before it began. The headaches. The sleepless nights. The way your chest tightened when their name passed your mind. You were never meant to forget. You were meant to uncover. And now, that time has come like a storm on the edge of your doorstep. A mirror fell last night without cause. That was no accident. Something spiritual cracked open the layer between truth and illusion. What they carry is not just a secret. It's the reason your blessings were delayed. It's the chain that has wrapped itself around your spiritual inheritance. Their hands once touched what was meant for you. And now they return it, but not by choice. They return it because the heavens are forcing the release. They thought silence was protection. But silence turned into torment. What they once buried now speaks louder than their own thoughts. This is why you've been feeling eyes on you. Why every dream has grown darker around the edges. The energy attached to them is reaching out in warning. Don't be fooled by the softness of their voice. Their presence may feel familiar, but their spirit has changed. What they carry carries danger. This secret was supposed to destroy you. That was the plan in rooms you never entered. Conversations were had behind closed doors with your name whispered like a curse. They envied your light. They feared your strength. So they took something sacred from your destiny and tried to make it theirs. But nothing stolen stays hidden forever. What belongs to you has cried out from the dirt. And heaven has answered. Now they stand at the edge of your world, shivering under divine pressure. The truth in their hand is not only heavy, it is alive. It wants to be seen. You will feel it when they arrive. The air will tighten. The shadows will stretch across the room differently. They will offer something, a letter, a trinket, a confession. But it's not about what you see. It's about what's inside it that they could never say aloud. Archangel Michael says, this moment was written in the records of the divine. It cannot be avoided. It must be faced. You are not being asked to forgive. You are being asked to know. Because the one approaching still carries deceit woven into their voice. They think their return grants them mercy. But this is not their redemption. It's your revelation. The photo they bring is torn at the edges. The date on the back will freeze your breath. It proves what you long suspected but were told to forget. They stole time. They altered truth. And now the evidence is stained with desperation. There is a journal. A box. A coded message you once discarded. But now, it returns under strange circumstances. It was passed hand to hand, cloaked in guilt. Hidden in places holy things should never touch. And now it vibrates with urgency. Your home will feel different for a moment. The walls will listen. The floors will speak in creaks. Watch their body when they step inside. The way they avoid your eyes. The way their voice shakes on simple words. They've been haunted too. But not by remorse, by fear of exposure. They fear what you'll become once you know. Their arrival is not kindness. It is pressure from the divine realm. They are the unwilling messenger of the very truth they tried to destroy. There is a name written in ink that will chill your spine. A place you thought was irrelevant holds more meaning than you knew. The pieces are connecting now. This was never just a secret. It was a curse set loose in your life. It bent your path when you weren't looking. The reason for your heartbreak. The root of your delay. The reason you almost gave up on yourself. But this moment breaks the curse. Because what is revealed cannot harm you anymore. It simply opens the door to your healing. The person who carries this secret never thought they'd have to explain. They hoped it would fade. But heaven forced the confrontation. What they saw, what they did, what they allowed, it lives in the folds of this confession. And once it spills, nothing will remain the same. They thought you'd be too broken to notice. But your soul sharpened while they slept comfortably in their silence. You became unshakable. Their confession is only the start. What follows is restoration. Of time. Of energy. Of everything they tried to remove from your life. The secret was never theirs to keep. It had a clock ticking in the divine realm. And now, it has expired. This energy will purge once it's revealed. There may be tears. There may be rage. But stay anchored. Stay still. Let your soul process before your voice speaks. Because you will be given a choice. Not just whether to forgive, but whether to release completely. Whether to let the truth set you free, not just aware. The object they hand you will hum with a frequency only your spirit can interpret. It will unlock the pain. But also the purpose. You were never meant to be destroyed by this. You were meant to be awakened. You were chosen to walk through it and come out reborn. What they meant for delay becomes your divine acceleration. What they held back becomes the wave that pushes you forward. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual realm now commands balance. The heavens are aligning around your truth. This visit is the final gate before your restoration. You may feel grief. Let it rise. You may feel rage. Let it pass through. But above all, stand tall. You are not just the wounded. You are the witness. You are the warrior chosen to survive the secret and still shine. They come with a hidden truth. But you hold the power. You hold the right to reclaim your peace. This truth will shake you. But it will also bless you. Because after this moment, the false connections will break. Only what's real will remain. Only what's holy will stay. The counterfeit is being cast out. You will feel something lift, like an ancient weight exiting your bloodline. That is not imagination. That is divine justice fulfilled. The blessing that was delayed is being rerouted now. It's finding its way back to your door. And this time, no one can block it. The next chapter begins after this knock. And it begins in fire. Fire that cleanses, not consumes. Your eyes will change. Your spirit will shift. The chains you forgot you wore will fall to the floor. You'll walk into tomorrow clearer, bolder, lighter. And the heavens will applaud. Because you faced what many run from. And you chose your freedom anyway.